We got to the moon the first time.
We definitely went to the moon. Yes, we went to the moon. We didn't go to the moon. We went to the moon several times.
Right. Yeah. I just want to check your view on that.
We 100% went to the moon. I know in depth the technical designs of the rockets, the spacecraft, everything.
The moon, our closest neighbor in space, has been studied for centuries. We've sent astronauts, rovers, and satellites to explore it, yet it has remained mysterious. As space agencies and private companies continue to probe the moon's secrets, Elon Musk, the visionary entrepreneur, has raised interesting questions with his views. He believes that there's more to the moon than meets the eye. So what does Musk know, and why does he see the moon as something entirely different from what we've been told? Join us as we explore the details of Elon Musk's comment and the shocking truth about the moon. Is the moon a distraction? Have you ever wondered why Elon Musk, the man behind SpaceX, seems uninterested in the moon? While many see the moon as the next big step in space exploration, Musk calls it a distraction. He believes our real focus should be Mars.
I believe if Mars was warmed up, you'd have an ocean about a mile deep on 40% of the planet.
But why does he think this way? In January 2025, Musk made it clear that SpaceX has no plans for moon missions. When asked about it, he responded, "No, we're going straight to Mars. The moon is a distraction." This statement shocked many, especially since space agencies like NASA and private companies have been pushing for a return to the moon. Most experts consider it a logical stepping stone for deep space exploration. But Musk believes that spending time and resources on the moon will only slow down humanity's progress towards settling Mars.
Evaporate, densify the atmosphere, and you'd actually want kind of global warming on Mars.
But what if there's more to Musk's stance than meets the eye? What if the moon holds secrets that could change everything we know about space exploration? You'll want to watch this video to the end because there's a lot to understand about this. Elon Musk's vision for Mars isn't new. Back in 2016, he introduced the idea of colonizing the red planet, arguing that humans need a backup plan in case of catastrophe on Earth. From asteroid impacts to nuclear wars, he has repeatedly warned that relying on Earth alone is too risky. His ultimate goal is to make life multiplanetary, ensuring that human civilization continues no matter what happens. But why skip the moon? Musk argues that it doesn't offer the same opportunities for human settlement as Mars. Unlike Mars, the moon has no atmosphere to protect against radiation, no resources to sustain long-term life, and extremely harsh conditions. The temperatures on the moon swing between deadly extremes, making it even less hospitable than Mars. More importantly, Musk believes that building a permanent base on the moon wouldn't push technological advancements the way a Mars mission would. This perspective puts him at odds with other space leaders. Jeff Bezos, the founder of Blue Origin.
A very fundamental long-range problem is that we will run out of energy on Earth. This is just arithmetic. It's going to happen.
Has big plans for lunar exploration, including private space stations and long-term settlements. NASA's Artemis program is set to return humans to the moon by 2027, aiming to establish a permanent presence. Many experts believe that the moon is a necessary first step before humans can travel to Mars. They argue that we need to test our space technologies somewhere closer before attempting a months-long journey to the red planet. Musk disagrees. He sees the moon as a distraction from the bigger picture. He believes that Mars missions should be humanity's priority because the challenges of reaching Mars will force rapid technological development. By focusing directly on Mars, he hopes to speed up the process of making interplanetary travel possible. His company, SpaceX, has already made significant progress in reusable rocket technology, which is a crucial part of making deep space travel affordable. His approach has sparked debates in the space community. Some scientists and engineers argue that skipping the moon entirely is a mistake. They point out that a lunar base could serve as a valuable testing ground for Mars missions. Others believe that the moon's resources, such as ice deposits, could be used for fuel production, making future space travel more efficient. However, Musk remains firm in his belief that Mars should be the main goal.
Because Mars has a low-density atmosphere, only about 1% the density of Earth, and it's primarily CO2.
His confidence in reaching Mars is so strong that he has even set ambitious timelines. At one point, he claimed that humans could be on Mars by 2022, though that deadline has passed. He now aims for the late 2020s or early 2030s, depending on technological progress. SpaceX's Starship, the rocket designed for deep space travel, is being built with Mars in mind. Musk envisions fleets of starships carrying thousands of people to Mars, eventually leading to a self-sustaining colony.
We should apply some vast amount of resources to Mars.
Interestingly, Musk's Mars obsession has a strange connection to an old science fiction book. In 1953, a novel titled Project Mars predicted that a leader named Elon would take humans to Mars. When this coincidence was brought to Musk's attention, he found it amusing but didn't comment further. Still, it adds an interesting twist to his space ambitions. Beyond just getting to Mars, Musk has a detailed vision for how humans will live there. He talks about building a city with sustainable energy, underground shelters to protect against radiation, and a fully functioning economy. According to him, once a Mars colony becomes self-sufficient, it will mark the beginning of a new chapter in human civilization. Despite his determination, Musk faces serious challenges.
There's a bunch of frozen CO2 that will evaporate, densify the atmosphere, and you'd actually want kind of global warming on Mars.
Sending humans to Mars requires enormous amounts of fuel, food, water, and supplies. The journey itself is dangerous, taking around 6 to 9 months with current technology. Astronauts would have to endure extreme radiation, long periods of isolation, and harsh environmental conditions. Even if they survive the journey, they would have to live in pressurized habitats or underground shelters. Then there's the financial aspect. SpaceX is making progress with Starship, but the cost of sending people to Mars remains incredibly high. Musk has suggested that tickets to Mars could eventually cost around $100,000 per person, making it accessible to more people over time. However, many experts doubt that prices will ever drop that low. Even with these obstacles, Musk is confident that SpaceX will succeed. He believes that technological breakthroughs will make Mars missions more affordable and practical in the near future. His ultimate dream is to see 1 million people living on Mars within the next century. But will it happen? Some critics argue that Musk is too optimistic about the timeline. They believe that Mars colonization is still decades away due to the immense challenges involved. Others point out that government agencies like NASA and international space organizations are taking a slower, more cautious approach for good reasons.
With Elon Musk, who has been an amazing partner for NASA for all of the years to get us to this point.
Despite the skepticism, Musk's vision continues to inspire millions of people. His belief in a multi-planetary future has pushed the boundaries of space exploration, forcing the industry to think bigger. Whether or not he succeeds in his lifetime, his efforts are shaping the future of space travel. His vision forces us to think beyond Earth's orbit. Will his dream of a Mars colony become a reality, or will humanity take a different path? One thing is certain, his ideas have changed the way we think about our future in space. Keep watching, we're just getting started. Unanswered questions about the moon's surface. The deeper you look into the moon, the more mysteries appear. Scientists, space agencies, and even high-profile figures like Elon Musk have sparked debates that challenge everything we thought we knew. But the real question is, why does so much about the moon remain unexplained? For years, space agencies have collected data about the moon's surface, yet some findings raise more questions than answers. One of the biggest mysteries is the presence of elements that shouldn't naturally be there. Studies have found traces of metals like titanium and uranium in areas where they weren't expected. If the moon was formed from debris after a massive collision with Earth, how did these elements survive in such high concentrations? Some experts believe these metals may have come from sources we don't fully understand. Another strange observation is the moon's unique reflection of light.
Durable antenna tracking very well.
The bearing is still good, Houston, coming up on 3 minutes.
Unlike Earth, which has an atmosphere that scatters light, the moon's surface reflects light in an odd way. Some researchers argue that this could be due to artificial materials mixed with lunar dust. If true, it could mean that the moon has secrets buried beneath its surface. Secrets we've yet to uncover. Then there are the mysterious lights. Astronomers have documented strange flashes and glowing spots on the moon for centuries. These lights appear and disappear without warning. Some suggest they might be caused by gas escaping from beneath the surface, but there's no solid proof. Others believe they could be signs of unknown activity. If there's nothing unusual about the moon, why do these lights keep appearing? One of the most debated ideas about the moon is that it may be hollow. While it sounds far-fetched, some evidence makes this theory harder to ignore. During the Apollo missions, astronauts deliberately crashed modules onto the moon's surface to measure the vibrations. The results were shocking. Instead of absorbing the impact, The moon rang like a bell for hours. Scientists were puzzled because this kind of response is more common in hollow structures. Elon Musk himself has hinted at strange findings related to the moon's density. Over time, this debris came together to form the moon. It's a dramatic story, but it raises some big questions. For example, if the moon formed from Earth's debris, why is its composition so different? The moon has far less iron and other heavy elements than Earth, and its surface is covered in materials that don't match Earth's crust. Some scientists think the moon might have formed from a different part of the solar system and was later captured by Earth's gravity. Others believe the giant impact hypothesis is correct, but that the moon's unique composition is due to the intense heat and pressure of the collision. Whatever the case, the moon's origin remains one of the biggest mysteries in planetary science. And until we can bring back more samples from the moon's interior, we may never know the full story. After its formation, the moon went through a period of intense volcanic activity. This is when the dark, flat plains we see today, called Maria, were formed. These plains are actually ancient lava flows, created when molten rock from the moon's interior erupted onto the surface. But here's the strange part. The moon's volcanic activity didn't last long. Unlike Earth, which still has active volcanoes, the moon's interior cooled down quickly, and its volcanic activity stopped billions of years ago. Why did this happen? One theory is that the moon's small size meant it lost heat faster than Earth.
An object the size of Mars crashed into the Earth over 4 billion years ago, creating a cloud of debris that formed the moon.
Another possibility is that the moon's interior was never as hot as Earth's to begin with, but there's also evidence that the moon's volcanic activity wasn't as simple as we once thought. Recent studies have found traces of volcanic glass and other materials that suggest the moon's eruptions were more explosive than we realize. Could this mean the moon's interior was more complex than we thought? And what does it tell us about the moon's early years? One of the most striking features of the moon is its craters. These are the scars of countless impacts over billions of years. But the moon's craters aren't just random holes. They're a record of the solar system's violent past. By studying these craters, scientists can learn about the history of asteroid and comet impacts, not just on the moon, but on Earth as well. For example, the moon's largest crater, the South Pole Aitken Basin, was formed by a massive impact that would have been catastrophic if it had happened on Earth. But the moon's craters also raise some puzzling questions. Why are some areas of the moon more heavily cratered than others? And why do some craters have strange shapes or unusual features? For example, some craters have central peaks or ridges that don't match the typical bowl-shaped craters we see on Earth. Could these features be clues about the moon's interior, or the nature of the objects that hit it? And what can they tell us about the history of the solar system? For a long time, scientists thought the moon was completely dry. But in recent years, we've discovered that the moon has water, not just in the form of ice at its poles, but also trapped in its rocks and soil. This discovery has completely changed our understanding of the moon. Where did this water come from? Some scientists think it was delivered by comets and asteroids that hit the moon over billions of years. Others believe it might have been there all along, trapped in the moon's interior and released by volcanic activity. The presence of water on the moon has huge implications for future exploration. Not only could it provide drinking water for astronauts, but it could also be used to produce oxygen and rocket fuel. But it also raises some intriguing questions. Could the moon's water have played a role in the origin of life on Earth?
And now it appears there is much more water on the surface of the moon than anyone ever knew.
Some scientists think that comets and asteroids carrying water might have also brought organic molecules to Earth, sparking the first life. If that's true, the moon's water could be a key piece of the puzzle in understanding how life began. One of the most puzzling aspects of the moon's history is its magnetic field. Today, the moon has almost no magnetic field, but ancient rocks brought back by the Apollo missions show that it once had a strong one. How did this happen? On Earth, our magnetic field is generated by the movement of molten iron in the core, but the moon's core is much smaller and cooler, so it shouldn't be able to produce a magnetic field. Some scientists think the moon's magnetic field might have been generated by a different process, such as the movement of magma in its mantle. But there's another possibility. The moon's magnetic field might have been caused by impacts. When a large object hits the moon, it can create a shock wave that temporarily generates a magnetic field. If this is true, it could mean that the moon's magnetic field wasn't constant, but came and went depending on how often it was hit. Whatever the explanation, the moon's magnetic history is a mystery that could tell us a lot about its interior and its relationship with Earth. But there's still so much we don't know. What secrets are hidden beneath its surface? What can its rocks and craters tell us about the early solar system? And how did the moon shape the history of Earth and life itself? These are questions that future missions, like NASA's Artemis program and China's Change missions, hope to answer. One of the most fascinating aspects of the moon's history is its relationship with Earth. The moon isn't just a passive companion. It has played an active role in shaping our planet. For example, the moon's gravity creates the tides which have influenced the evolution of life in Earth's oceans. Some scientists even think that the moon's gravitational pull might have helped stabilize Earth's rotation, creating the stable climate that allowed life to flourish. But the moon's influence goes even deeper. Some researchers believe that the moon might have played a role in the origin of life itself. How? When the moon was young, it was much closer to Earth than it is today. This means its gravitational pull was stronger, creating massive tides that could have churned the oceans and mixed the chemicals needed for life. Some scientists even think that the moon's early volcanic activity might have released gases that contributed to Earth's atmosphere. And then there's the question of the moon's role in protecting Earth. The moon's surface is covered in craters, evidence of countless impacts over billions of years. But what if some of those impacts were meant for Earth? The moon's gravity might have pulled in asteroids and comets that would have otherwise hit our planet. In a way, the moon could have acted as a cosmic shield, protecting Earth from catastrophic impacts that might have wiped out life before it even began. But the moon's connection to Earth isn't just about the past. It's also about the future. The next time you look up at the moon, remember, it's not just a distant world. It's a part of our story, a piece of our past, and a key to our future. And as we continue to explore it, we might just find that the moon's history is our history too. There's just more about the moon. Keep watching. The moon's role in humanity's future, why it still matters. Here's the big question. Even if the moon isn't the ultimate destination for humanity, does it still play an important role in our future? The answer might surprise you. While Musk sees the moon as a distraction, others believe it's an essential stepping stone for deeper space exploration. One of the strongest arguments for focusing on the moon is its potential as a testing ground for technologies needed for Mars and beyond. Think about it. The moon is only 3 days away from Earth, while Mars is a 6 to 9 month journey. If something goes wrong on the moon, help is relatively close. But if something goes wrong on Mars, astronauts are on their own. This makes the moon the perfect place to test new technologies, habitats, and life support systems. NASA's Artemis program is a prime example of this approach. The goal is to return humans to the moon by 2027 and establish a sustainable presence there. This includes building lunar bases, testing new spacesuits, and even extracting resources like water ice from the moon's surface. These experiments could provide valuable insights for future Mars missions. For instance, if we can figure out how to live and work on the moon, we'll be much better prepared for the challenges of Mars. Another reason the moon matters is its resources. While Musk argues that the moon lacks the resources needed for long-term settlement, others see it as a treasure trove of materials that could revolutionize space travel. One of the most exciting discoveries is the presence of water ice in the moon's polar regions. Water is essential for life, but it's also a key ingredient for rocket fuel. By splitting water into hydrogen and oxygen, we could create fuel for spacecraft right on the moon. This would make deep space missions much more affordable and sustainable. In addition to water, the moon has other valuable resources, such as rare earth metals and helium-3. Rare earth metals are used in everything from smartphones to electric vehicles, and helium-3 is a potential fuel for nuclear fusion. While extracting these resources won't be easy, the potential rewards are enormous. Some experts believe that the moon could become a hub for mining and manufacturing, supplying materials for both Earth and space-based industries. Beyond its scientific and economic value, the moon also has strategic importance. In recent years, countries like China and Russia have ramped up their lunar exploration efforts. These developments have raised concerns about a new space race with the moon as the prize. For the United States and its allies, maintaining a presence on the moon is crucial for national security and global leadership.
United States, it's different, but it's very pretty out here.
If other countries dominate lunar exploration, they could gain control over key resources and strategic locations. This is one reason why NASA's Artemis program includes international partners like the European Space Agency and Japan's JAXA. By working together, these countries hope to ensure that the moon remains a shared resource for all of humanity. Let's not forget the moon's cultural significance. For thousands of years, the moon has inspired art, literature, and mythology. It's a symbol of exploration, mystery, and human ambition. Returning to the moon isn't just about science or politics. It's about reigniting that sense of wonder and possibility. Imagine what it would mean for a new generation to see humans walking on the moon again, or to witness the construction of the first lunar base. These achievements could inspire countless people to pursue careers in science, technology, engineering, and math. So where does this leave us in the debate between the moon and Mars? While Elon Musk is right to focus on the long-term goal of making humanity a multiplanetary species, the moon shouldn't be dismissed as a distraction. Instead, we should see it as a stepping stone, a place to test technologies, gather resources, and build the skills needed for Mars and beyond. In fact, some experts believe that a balanced approach, focusing on both the moon and Mars, is the best way forward. For example, NASA's Artemis program could pave the way for future Mars missions by testing new technologies and training astronauts in a lunar environment. At the same time, SpaceX's Starship could be used for both lunar and Martian missions, making it a versatile tool for deep space exploration. As we look to the future, it's clear that the moon will play a key role in humanity's journey to the stars. Whether it's as a testing ground, a resource hub, or a source of inspiration, the moon has much to offer. But there's still a lot we don't know. What secrets lie beneath its surface? What new discoveries await us? And how will the moon shape our future as a spacefaring species? One thing is certain, the moon is far more than just a dusty rock in the sky. It's a gateway to the cosmos, a place where we can learn, grow, and prepare for the challenges ahead. So while Elon Musk's vision for Mars is bold and inspiring, let's not forget the moon. It might just be the key to unlocking our future in space. And who knows, the next giant leap for humanity might begin with a single step on the lunar surface. So what do you think? Is the moon just a lifeless rock, or is there something more to the story? Let us know in the comments. And if you enjoyed this video, remember to like, share, and subscribe for more. Also, click the following video shown on your screen. You will enjoy it.